Shalom, shalom. In this lesson, I'm gonna be going into just do the job description, just doing the job description, and everything else will work itself out. Don't look, to stop looking to outdo one another. You shouldn't be in a mindset of trying to outdo one another. Get out of that mindset and more so, and get in the mindset of more so simply doing a job description. All right. And in this lesson, I'm gonna show why that makes sense to do. And I also want to address the thoughts that should be had regarding this matter, and thoughts that may come to mind that are off when being involved in this matter, which is us brothers that's in this truth. All right. So that's pretty much it. Lord willing, that made sense. But let's kick this off. This is Matthew 20. And call halam la Yahweh Bashmi al Shai Wahawa Kakodash. So I'm going to kick this off. This is Matthew 20:1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And like I said, just to really make this make sense, like I said, we just want to get into the mindset of more so just being. You just want to have a mindset of I'm just doing a job description. I just want to just do the job description, because when you focus on that, everything else is going to work itself out. You don't have to make it about outdoing someone. That thinking is off, because first of all, if you just do the job description, do what you're supposed to do according to this truth, now that you've been bestowed with it, you're going to win at the end of the day. You're gonna win regardless anyway. You're gonna end up where you're supposed to, what was designated for you, if you are of the elect. So it makes no sense of trying to make it about outdoing someone. It makes no sense. And the reason that makes no sense, because it's not even something that is of any good or that's pushed, in this truth for us that's trying to obtain. Like I said, the election have obtained and the rest were blinded. And the rest will consist of people who try to outdo one another, whether it be elder apostles, elder brothers, a brother next to you, a brother that came in a day after you. All of that, man. Those dudes that fell out, in a sense. Just do the job description. Now, if your job description is, in particular, like say you have a certain lot, and that lot causes you to be, it demands more out of you, to where your output is more. So in a sense, you're, like the scriptures say, Yahweh said, you chief. That's simply that. That's simply just doing the job description. It's not making it about being chief. It's not making it about any of that. It's making it about, okay, this is my lot, and my job description is to live up to this. One that's watching over souls or whatever it may be. So when you get into the mindset of, it's dangerous when you get into the mindset of forgetting or not making it about just simply doing the job duty, the job description, and instead outdoing someone else. More than likely, you're not gonna make it, because you don't even have the right intentions. You're not doing the work of the Lord sincerely. You're doing it deceitfully. You're doing it with no love for the flock. You're not actually even tending to the flock. You're trying to beat out the flock. So I just want to get this parable real quick, which shows why that makes no sense. It's going to show why this makes no sense, and why we actually want to just simply do the job duty, man. Because everything is going to work itself out. You'll end up where you're supposed to be. Matthew 20:1, it says, for the kingdom It says, for the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, that man being Ahchyam, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. So brothers that's been given this knowledge to drop on Israel so they can grow, so the elect can manifest. And when he had agreed with the laborers, and these laborers are chiefly men, it says for a penny a day, right? And that penny being what? The kingdom and everything that comes with the kingdom. He sent them into his vineyard. So we know what we're working for. We're working for a kingdom. We're working for a world to come. All right, we because we understand here we have no continuing city in all the places we have been scattered to, chiefly for us in America. It says, and he went out about the third hour. So we're doing this work simply for that and to restore the tribes, back to the Lord. Okay, according to the book of Isaiah, it says, and when he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, right? Because we are to go out and pretty much the vineyard is in the marketplace. The vineyard is amongst the marketplace. It's in the marketplace. It's where this word is to be sold, because the marketplace is where everyone else is at. That's the places of concourse, the chief places of concourse, the highways and byways, the passings of life. All right. So you got a bunch of Israelites that are of those that were called, that were destinated to come into this truth and help do this work, that are also going to be found in the marketplace, which is why we go there. So the Lord, he said, he pretty much, these men got gathered by the other men that went out into the marketplace. All right. And got the other men that were supposed to be out in the marketplace gathering the rest of the elect, no matter if they aren't to necessarily go out and teach on the highways or not. So it says, it says, and he saw others standing idle in the marketplace, right? And it's kind of giving us what? The job description. It says, and said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, I will give you. And they went their way. Right. These men working for me. They know what they're on pay. They have the kingdom coming. I'm gonna just keep it simple, but it says, and he went out about the 6th hour and ninth hour and did likewise. Exactly. So these are men that just came in later, at later times, while the truth was already rolling. All right. It says, and about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle. Right. So it's going to be men in the end of the last days that were to come in last minute. That was just a lot. All right. And do this work, help manifest the elect. Right. Help the vineyard grow. Right. So they were to go come out. They were to be gathered and sent out into the chief places of concourse on these highways and byways to do this as well. Right. Even though it's last minute, it says, and found others standing idle and said unto them, why standeth ye here all the day idle? And simply it tell you got a job to do, especially based off who you are. The scriptures talk about the duty of the duty of men, which is to fear the commandments. That's for all Israel, men and women. So if you're not doing that, you're idle. But those that have been possibly set up to go out and help grow it, help maintain this vineyard, help this vineyard, the elect manifest. If they're not doing that, no matter what they may be doing, they may be a CEO in the world, they may be whatever in the world, a firefighter, it could be anything. If they're not doing this, which is what they was actually called to do, the Lord, they're doing nothing. They're considered in the heavens as doing nothing. So us that's on this already, we already know if we're in this lot of going out to the highways and hedges, this is our job description. This is what we ought to be doing. And when you're not doing this, you're being idle. It says, they say unto him, because no man had hired us. Right. Nobody told them. Right. He said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So this would be an instance like brothers that start, so-called offshoot camps, side camps or something like that. All right. Because how did they still come in if nobody told them? See that? But anyway, it says, so when even was come, The Lord of the vineyard said unto his steward, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first, which will be who? It'll consist of the angels, right? Giving out the paycheck, the pay. It says, and which was what? That penny. And when they came, they were hired about the 11th, and when they came, that were hired about the 11th hour. So this is just going into everybody that's been doing the work, even those that came in late. It says they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, which was those that came in originally, during the early ways when things first hit the web, when things first hit YouTube, when, the truth first, these men, it says, and they likewise received every man a penny, right? So they didn't get more, okay? And I'm going to read this in the NLT. When those hired first came to get their pay, they assumed they would receive more, but they too were paid a day's wage, back in the KJV. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, right? So a lot of men got to get offended in Yahweh how he dealt. But he said what? They said what? Saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us. See, which have borne the burden of the heat of the day. So man, y'all ain't really had to put no work in. We had to do a bunch of hours, stuff like that. Y'all brothers got it more so easier. You entered into other men's labor. All right. It says, but he answered, and they still got the same thing. But he answered one of them, and that was probably the mindset they had throughout. They probably had the mindset that what they were outdoing. They maybe have considered themselves to have outdid, which you can see in certain regards how that could make sense, but at the end of the day, it's irrelevant. Which we see here is about that's the wrong mentality to be in, because you're gonna confound yourself, man. You will be humbled in that day. So you just need to make it about doing the job description. It says, but he answered one of them and said, friend, it's the point. I do thee no wrong. Didst thou agree with me for a penny? Exactly. Take that as thine and go thy way. I will give unto this last even as unto thee. Now, that's not to say the Lord is not going to, it's not going to be necessarily a hierarchy, but at the end of the day, everybody is laboring to get one thing. That's salvation, man. That's to get the kingdom. See? So which one does it make more sense to focus on as far as doing the job description or outdoing others based off what this parable says that we just read? Obviously, just doing the job description. Just do the work, man. It says, is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? Right, and what's the own? The kingdom that the Heavenly Father gave him, that he said he's going to give unto you. Even as my Heavenly Father has a point, he said, I appoint unto you a kingdom as my Heavenly Father has appointed unto me. And we're going to be joint heirs with Yahweh. And that's the main reason why it makes sense to just do the job description. Because at the end of the day, how it's going to go, the Lord, he's going to what? He's going to, everything's going to work itself out, man. If you're going to end up on that throne that you want to be on now or see yourself in now, or try to live as if you on now over other brothers in a sense, right? Those that do that and have that as their mentality, which make no sense to do, because if you just do the work, just do the job description, you're going to end up on the throne. You're going to end up on the throne. So it don't matter. Let me grab that real quick. But it says, is it not, he says, is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first and the first shall be last. For many be called, but few chosen. Let me grab it. So as you see, Luke 22 tells us, and it says, and I appoint unto you, 22 and 29, I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed unto me. All right. And I'm going to read it in the NLT. And just as my Father has granted me a kingdom, that's what's his own. Right. But he says, and now I grant you the right. You know, he's going to give us that kingdom because he has to, because we're his brothers. All right. But it's up to him to disperse according to how he's supposed to disperse. He wants to disperse, which what he wants to do is what the Heavenly Father wants to do. That's what's in his want. So whoever is supposed to get this is what this much or whatever. This is who's going. That's how he's gonna do it. So it's all of Yahweh Shai, because he's the big brother, man. He the brother, you know. But it says that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom. And there it is, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So first of all, when you go to Matthew the 18th chapter, you had the disciples arguing about that. Who is greatest? Let me grab that real quick. In the Matthew 18, and I'm gonna start at 1. At the same time, at the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, "Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" See that? So they was having a debacle about that, you know, and they had they pretty much, I'm gonna read on. They had their priorities and the mentality about it all screwed up. It says, "And how shall I call a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them? And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So there it is. So and I'm gonna read the next one. It says, "And whoso shall receive one such a little child in my name, receiveth me." So pretty much the Lord said, we just want to keep our eye on the work. You need to work on this in order for you to even get the kingdom, what you want to make. So you want to make that your focus, the work, what you need to do, because you're going to get the kingdom that way. So if you just focus on the job duty, the job description, everything going to work itself out. Don't worry about it, man. Because there's going to be levels of men. First of all, when you doing a job description, everybody gonna do the job description different. Everybody got they own ability that's been given to them, in which they are to do the same job description. And by default, it's gonna end up being the hierarchy, because everybody don't go hard. So you shouldn't worry about going harder or necessarily outdoing someone. You should worry about just doing the job description. You know, working out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Okay, so this is what we're trying to manifest. All right, see here on the right. So it don't even make sense to act like it's there and everybody got their crown or something already, because it's all spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the elect. This will be the elect. But right now in the spirit, everybody is living out there. You know, we're spiritually trying to manifest as the elect, and then that day physically gonna come. So if we still at this point, we don't even know. We just need to make it about what? Doing the job description, as the scriptures say, put on there for us the elect. At Colossians, what's that, 3:12? All right. So we got work to do, and that's just what? Putting on there for us the elect. All right, just doing the job description. I want to actually go ahead and grab that really quick. It's in the book of Colossians 3. I read a little bit of this. 3:12. Put on therefore is the elect of God. Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. See, we don't know where at, this is knowing. This is when it's manifest. We could just put on spiritually, rehearsing. All right. Of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies. This is the work that got to be done. This is the job description. So this would be of the job description. To put on therefore is the elect, which consists of what? Their characteristics. All right. Which we're doing right now spiritually, mentally. It says to manifest physically. So we could be of these men. It says bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. And above all these things, put on charity, Right. We putting on there for us the elect. We getting addressed like the elect right now. We're getting dressed like the elect right now. All right. So we got work to tend to, man. You know, the job description. It says, which is the bond of perfectness. All right. And it's in the NLT. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony. And that's what the elect is going to be about. They're not individuals that's going to make it about outdoing one another. They just all did what was given them to do. And by default, it being different measures, everything going to work itself out off of that, man, off that same system. Everybody going to end up where they was designed to be at. You was only given this much, so there's only so much you're going to do. But he made sure he did that. This one was given that much, so he focused on doing that much, doing what he had, and you know, he ended up having that. But at the end of the day, they work all them focusing individually on the job description. The one to drop job description, which was given to all of them, manifested the kingdom. It manifested the elect. You know, through the work they put in, which is what tended to the job description of what to the vineyard, on the vineyard. All right. Okay, so yeah, kind of. As you see, Luke 10:2, it says, therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great. That's the work, but the laborers are few. Let's read that let's read that in the NLT. These were his instructions to them. That's a what description, the job description. The job description is in the instructions of what you are to do for this job to receive what? The pay. It says the harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord, who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his field. And that's exactly what we need, man. We need more brothers focused on the job description. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to be outshine or be over. If we just focus on the job description, everything gonna work itself out. It's gonna be natural order. No one's gonna be fronting on one another. It ain't gonna be none of that, man. It's just gonna be how it's supposed to be. All right. But you got guys that got this type of mentality. 119 and 99. I have more understanding than all my teachers. For thy testimonies are my meditation. Like that's gonna happen, depending on just men focusing on their job description. It was probably given to this man to teach, you know, and only this much, and to this guy, and this guy was given this. That was his measure. And he focused on that, and it manifested the guy he's supposed to teach. And then you had the guy that was supposed to be taught, built up, and he was given a measure of more. But he just focused on that job description, and it ended up being that he would be the one that would go on to have more understanding than his teacher. But that's not what you are to focus on. You are to just simply look at it in the sense of, I'm just focusing on my job description. I was given this much more to understand than maybe my teacher understood. You hear the elder apostle say it all the time, you know. They're not necessarily looking, but they be in the spirit of not even looking to be over the men that taught them. They just look at the job description. They're like, nah, that went off. We got to get this right. They went off. We got to get this right. That ain't right. You know, they still give reverence to their teachers, you know. But you have men now that actually go out their way. You hear them, they try to be over these men that taught them. Like, dude, if you just focus on the job description, you're everything gonna work itself out. If you're supposed to be over them, it'll be that case. Cause you never know. You know, you never know. That's why I says the greater so-called you are, you're more humble yourself. Cause you never know if somebody gonna come along and be better than you. So if you are so-called great in that moment, it's better to just be humble. You know, like they got that saying, every dog has his day and all this other stuff, man. That's the better thing. Instead of walking around acting like you the cap, you not the cap, man. First of all, your Howard Shot, he over everybody. Let me grab it. This is Colossians 1, and I'm going to start at verse 16. For by him are all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, right? Whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. What you see, Yahushua, he the top dude on this picture. Top Israelite, man. All right. And I'm going to read that in the NLT. For through him, God created everything. God created everything. So he the top dude in the heavenly realms, and on earth, he made the things that we can see and the things we can't see, such as thrones, kingdoms, rulers, and authorities in the unseen world. Everything was created through him and for him. See? And that's why he said that to those laborers. You got dudes, that think they can tell you how to shot something. It's crazy, man. It says verse 17. And we don't want to be like that being in this flesh. That shit can happen. This flesh just get wicked, man. You want the Lord to come now as if you know the Lord. You know more than the Lord. So we can't sit and act like we don't get thoughts like that. So, you just got to check it. But it says Colossians 1 and 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, meaning the believers. The body's the believers, the church is the believing Israelites, men, women, and children, who was the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him all should all fullness dwell. So Yahushua, he is he the top. So you want to get out of that mentality now, man. 3 John 1 and 8. Wherefore we therefore ought to receive such that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. All right, in the NLT. So we ourselves should support them so that we can be their partners as they teach the truth. And back in the KJV verse 9, it's the point. I wrote unto the church, right? So the believers, the brothers and sisters, but Diotrophus, who love it to have the preeminence. Among them receiveth us not. So this is showing you what now? Further that, because they already been doing it throughout the lesson, that's the wrong mentality to have. You trying to outdo brothers, believers, when you just got a simple job description you need to be focused on. Which is how the hell you gonna get out of here, man? Which is how you gonna get that ruler, that scepter, sit on that throne. Not worrying about being over the next man. That's crazy, man. And that's exactly why, man. So that's basically it. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, prating against us with malicious words, and not content therewith. Neither doth he himself receive the brethren, and forbiddeth them that would, and cast them out of the church, because he want to outdo dudes. Instead of just having a job description manifested, which is how we're going to get everything. All right. For instance, you got a speaker, you got a reader. The highways got to be done, set up, whatever, man. It's just the work has got to be done. All right. And you got to live out your lot. Don't let nobody stop you from your lot. And don't try to be more than your lot. Don't boast yourself above your measure. All right. So, beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good. He that doeth good is of God. Right. He that doeth good. See that's what those that focus on the job description. And that's obviously what's going to work everything out and be accepted. And those will be the individuals that's going to get the pay. Imagine if you had a so-called plant and you got guys that you see you want to outwork, but you've been given your job description, but you so caught up in outdoing them, you doing things that probably weren't even given unto you to do, thus making it manifest, pretty much making it clear and apparent you're not even working. You're not even doing the work. you're gonna end up getting fired. You're not even gonna get what you there for, which is the same thing they for, and that's just their paycheck. It says, "He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil have not seen God." All right. So that's basically that, man. This is Sirach 7 and 5. I'm gonna actually start at the point is in 4. Seek not of the Lord preeminence. See that? Seek not of the Lord preeminence, neither the king of the king the seat of honor. So there it is. So you don't want to do that, man. All right, because Yahushua, he got that preeminence. So just focus on doing the job description. As Yahushua said in Luke 22, he that is chief is among you, let him be as a servant, you know. And that's just a way to to make sure you get, because if you boast yourself above your measure, what if you don't get? And but say you the boasting that you putting yourself upon is not even your measure. When it come time for you to look for receiving, you're gonna be confounded, because you're not gonna get what you was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have it like that to get it. So that's why the greater you are, you really just want to just humble yourself more. You know, and then it help other believers manifest, you know, and whatnot, man. All right, then it keep you in position for your Yahushua. Okay, he is him, man. All right. So anyway, so that's basically the point. Okay, you got a few in here that tell you this, man. Like first, 14, that's a good one. 15, hate not laborious work, neither husbandry which the Most High hath ordained. So just doing the work is what we want to focus on. And you shouldn't make it simply about that, just doing a job description, because that's going to manifest everything, you know. So don't act like we here already. We working on manifesting these things. And you already heard the parable, you know, and that's the job description is what we need to focus on. Because we all getting the same, we all after the same thing. Was that penny gonna get the same thing at the end of the day anyway, which is the kingdom. Okay, so that's basically that. So I got one more to Sirach 33 and 22. In all thy works keep to thyself the preeminence. Leave not a stain in thy honor. Now what does that mean? Is that a contradiction? No. You know? This is Sirach. Sirach 33 and 22 in the CEB. All right. And it reads what? It is better for your children to make request unto you than, what's like 23. It says Sirach 33 and 23. It's the same verse. It says, excel in everything you do. That's what it means. And don't bring a stain on your reputation. So you just need to be worrying about what? This is Sirach 43 and 30. It says, when ye glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can. See that? So that's what it means by keep the preeminence to yourself. You go as hard as you can, right? At working out your own salvation. You fulfill your measure, like Ezra was told. Even when the said measure is fulfilled in you, the said number of seeds is fulfilled in you, you know, the Lord still has to consider others. So that's why you need to focus on not outdoing brothers, because nothing comes down to us outdoing one another. It comes down to every brother fulfilling their said measure, which I'll get really quick, and then that'll be it. This is 2nd Ezra 4 and 36. It says, I'm gonna actually start at 35. Did not the souls also of the righteous ask question of these things in their chambers, saying, how long shall I hope on this fashion? When cometh the fruit of the floor of our reward? It says, right, so the kingdom. So that tells you that's what everything come down to anyway. Us just get in the kingdom. Not you per se. Because we can't get the kingdom just based off one individual. You know, the kingdom is not just for one individual, not even just for Yahushua. It's for all. It's for the Lord's his people, man. You know, it says his children, his sons and daughters. It says verse 36, and unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he hath weighed the world in the balance. So you got to do what you need to do for this to come forth. By measure hath he measured the times, and by number hath he numbered the times, and he do not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. So there it is. So that goes for every individual, not just Ezra's. So when the said number is filled in you, the said measure got to be that's the said number is filled in us. The said number of seeds is filled in us individually, us of the elect. Lord will, we of the elect. That's when it's gonna come. So you need to focus on what? Just doing the job description. So that's what it means by keep the preeminence unto yourself. We're going back to what? Sirach 43 and verse 30. When ye, not everybody, when ye and his individual glorify the Lord, exalt him as much as ye can, for even yet will he far exceed. And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength and be not weary. See? That shows you we got different measures. So just by you focusing on you exalting the Lord as much as you can, that shows it's gonna be a hierarchy, because that goes for everybody else as an individual too. Right? And it's gonna what? By the default, by everybody just focusing on doing that, exalting the Lord as much as they can, it's gonna work everything out in order. So we ain't gotta worry about focusing on having a mindset of outdoing the brother. You not gonna make it, man. Have the mentality of just focusing on doing the job description. Put forth all your strength and be not weary, for ye can never go far enough. So there it is, man. All right. So you see, I have the example. I kind of put these to the side now. You know, the dream team, they weren't worried about, outdoing one another, because they was all, at the end of the day, when they probably had that at a point, but at the end of the day, working for the same thing. It was all subject to getting the same reward. And by default, what each man's contribution was, it just and them focusing on making their contribution, it just worked everything out. But they all got the same thing at the end of the day, the ultimate point. All right. So that's basically the point I want to make on that. So Lord willing, you've been edified. It's all about doing the work to get this, man, to manifest this, and we all getting this at the end of the day. So I'm gonna read this, and that'll be it. Sirach 33 and 16. It says, I awaked up last of all, and one that gathereth after the grape gatherers. By the blessing of the Lord, I profited, and tread my wine press like a gatherer of grapes. Why? Because he simply did the job description, so he got it done. It wasn't about him outdoing the next brother. He just did the job description and he got it. So there it is. So jumping down to this, and that'll be it. It says, verse 27, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teaches much evil. So not doing the job description and focusing on some other crap like outdoing the brothers is what it causes you to have a bad time, have you end up without and not in position to rule, without a scepter or anything. Shalom.